Hello everybody, welcome back to Subarashiki Hibi. Today we're going to be seeing more and more destruction of Mamiya Takuji, and today I'm assuming that we're just going to see more of how Tomosane's worldview is going to become completely deteriorated and how everything is going to how everything is just going to distort and make less and less sense. I mean, I really found it interesting, just everything we were reading last time. Tomosane's mind, it was as if it couldn't comprehend the parts that are actually relevant now, so it couldn't comprehend any of that, so it just fell down into the depths of his mind, and we saw secrets that were hidden and, let's be honest, very thoughts that seem so unpleasant and, let's be honest, traumatic as well. Yeah, so let's just read a little bit of this again, just to give you a picture of how awful all of this seems. Yeah, the lost world. And if something returns to the sky, it's so weird this. There was talk about Takuji potentially becoming the Saviour 7 years ago though, and also the Webbot prediction. What was that about? Because the thing that's really puzzling about that prediction is it did genuinely make a prediction for something that would happen in 2012, which is so odd. But then again though, I mean, I don't know whether it predicted the exact month it would happen. I think maybe it could be the case that it was just based on the Mayan calendar, and then it had some sort of weird event that would happen. I don't know, some sort of creative event that then, I don't know, then was emphasised in Takuji's family, and then because Takuji became really deluded coincidentally around that time, the event came true. So I mean, it was complete coincidence, but at the same time it did objectively happen. I don't know though, I need to look into that prediction more, I think. Yeah, God, this is interesting. I really do wonder who hates Takuji here. Yeah, this was really unusual as well. And what is this blank? Why is the detail so bad that it's as if Takuji has totally filtered said detail out of his mind? Yeah, this is really weird. I do wonder if Hasaki is the gap that can be filled there. I don't know, the space looks a little bit too small, but I really do wonder. Yeah, but this is so unusual to think about the fact that ideals like this are completely buried within his mind, and it does make sense as to why when he becomes really delusional he tries to view his family circumstances with a whole different interpretation, and obviously his reason of existence is then created. Isn't it funny to think about the fact that with a lot of Subarashiki Hibi characters, when they follow their reason for existence, they make some sort of really bad mistake. I mean, obviously Takuji, but also Tomosane applies to this. Interesting that Takuji's surname isn't mentioned here. Was he always Mamiya Takuji? Yeah, but this is really unusual. I mean, who is Takuji calling Nissan? That's a bit of a weird question. And also, what's unusual? Yeah, but this is the really weird thing. Here. Yeah, Mamiya and then Tomosane and then Minakami Yuki and then Mamiya Hasaki. I just find it so unusual, the fact that Mamiya Tomosane is said here. Yeah, Takuji's curse, that's funny, rather than Zakudor's curse. But the only thing that's really unusual is to think... Well, think about the fact that this is projected in the last part of what he is saying. And the fact that even though there is this much chaos and this much uncertainty within what he's thinking, he still has an ideal like this. Maybe it's as if whoever is making him experience thoughts like these is the person who's also behind wanting him to save Hasaki. So could this be Yuki's doing? But the only thing is I don't really understand why she would do anything like this. Because Takuji at this point, before Mamiya has become the saviour, he could in theory beat him in a fight and obviously beat his personality. But the only thing is, I mean, I suppose maybe there's an element of Takuji's personality breaking that Tomosane doesn't understand. Like, for example, if the personality breaks, all of the other personalities won't be able to function, maybe? Maybe this was some sort of deliberate stopping mechanism so that Tomosane would not fight Takuji. I don't know. I do find it interesting that when he was conscious, he was being talked about a feeling as if he was being held with loads and loads of weights and he couldn't get up, he couldn't even move any of his limbs. I think he was restrained. Where am I? Yeah. Right, I lost consciousness when I tried to erase Mamiya Takuji. Yeah, so we're in class again. Yeah, that's the worst thing, you genuinely can't tell. I find it funny to think about the fact that he's talking in the middle of class. He's not talking to anybody, he's just saying words out loud. I mean, what if somebody listens to him? This is the break period. How much time has passed while I was out? I quickly pulled out my phone and looked at the time. But the only thing is it's July the 14th. 2 hours? But wait. Yeah, that's the worst thing. You can't even realise it. Yeah, the date had already changed. An entire day had passed. What is this? Yeah, no, totally. By the way, can I just mention, in Down the Rabbit Hole 2, I don't think Yuki was actually there, because obviously we've seen everything from Tomosane. I think Tomosane was truly experiencing this, and I think what Yuki was experiencing were... I remember the real Yuki, the one that we know and love, saying that she somehow planted things within the other Yuki's memory. I don't get how that works. Doesn't sound very scientific, but at the same time, I mean, I do wonder if this could just be the fake memory that she is being shown and the narration is deliberately trying to lead us astray. That could be the fake memory that we're looking at in Down the Rabbit Hole 2, and this is the real experience and recollection of what is going on. Yeah, the breaks in my continuity were getting worse. Yeah, God, that's insane. Yeah, I was losing consciousness every time my concentration slipped. When did it start here? I want to remind myself. Oh yeah, that was so sweet of Hasaki. Well, no. I mean, the thing that's really puzzling about this is he never really lost his concentration, but the more he'd got into the day, the more deluded his mind had become, and the less it equated to reality as well. I was losing consciousness every time my concentration slipped. Consciousness. Now that I think of it, I feel like there was something I saw just because... Yeah, just before I lost consciousness last time. Probably something I don't know. Yeah, whatever that blurred picture is. Apparently it's been shown in It's My Own Invention before. I mean, someone on the Discord told me that, but... I've never seen it. I haven't ever seen it. So I really do wonder what it is. We've never seen the full image. Something. Probably something I don't know. I don't know what that means. Hang on a second, what happened there? That feeling again. That feeling is... Oh, it's Takuji. Interesting. So is this going to be the occasion where Tomosane tries to beat Takuji and fails? And is Takuji going to be Mr. Kyuseishu? Well, is he going to be Kyuseishu-sama? Is he going to be a Mr. Psychopath today? Well, he's not really. Okay, actually, I don't want to... I feel bad for saying that. I don't think Takuji's a psychopath here. I think Takuji only becomes a psychopath when... what's a good point? I think when he begins the cult. And obviously when the murders start and all of the really awful actions. Then you could easily say he's a psychopath, and then he obviously just gets worse and worse from there. But I think beforehand, before any of that, and obviously when Takuji is within his grief phase, and even when he uses delusions to cope with the grief, he's not necessarily inflicted any damage on other people. And I just think someone's a psychopath if they do something that actively affects the lives of other people as well as themselves because of the fact that they're really deluded. But he hasn't done any of that until, obviously, the cult-related things begin. I mean, I get that all of his anime habits, they are very, very unhealthy. And just in terms of eroge and what he does in his basement, it's unhealthy, sure, but he's only harming himself, not anybody else. So that's what I think. That existence growing stronger by the day. Yeah, totally. Your strength could swallow me at any moment. That's not important. Oh my god, I reached out and grabbed the shadow before me. And right when I did... Samami Kotomi. What the fuck? The twins' mistake. The Saviour is torn to pieces. What? Oh, this is really weird. I just find it funny to think about the fact that whenever... Because of the fact that Takuji's past is becoming more relevant to him, now that he tries to rationalise and just determine why becoming the Saviour is a good thing to do. It's so weird that the more he thinks about... And the more Takuji becomes deluded and tries to seek explanations for his past, the more Tomosane sees. It's as if he sees what Takuji's thinking, in a way. Sanami Kotomi. Sanami. So who is Mamiya? Is Mamiya the surname of the father? Or is this a different name in general? How do we know? Yeah. Who is the founder? The twins' mistake, the Saviour was torn to pieces. But who are the twins? That's the thing. That is the really, really puzzling thing. What were those? I know exactly, yeah. I just find it genuinely so odd to think about the fact that he has been flashed tons of words into his thoughts, and yet at the same time he doesn't even know what any of them are meaning. I mean, it's just so weird to think about the fact that you can actively think things without even having an input. Like, normally whenever you want to think something, your brain makes the active conscious decision to think, ah yes, this thought makes sense, I am going to think this. But no, it's totally the opposite here, and it's just so weird how little control there is. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, yeah, I knew some of those words, but a lot of them I had never seen before. Yeah, totally. Yeah. He's totally in the dark about everything. So, of course, something like this would be very unusual. A prophecy. July 20th, 2012. The twins. I mean, you would have thought Kagami and Tsukasa could potentially be the subject of that. Yeah, but torn to pieces, I don't really get that. But what I find really unusual about... yeah. How is the Saviour torn to pieces? Or maybe the Saviour is not Mamiya Takuji and it's Yuki. And Yuki was dead and bleeding out on the sidewalk, apparently. Yuki Ne, whoever that is. I love that we've known Minakami Yuki for so long and yet we don't know who Yuki Ne is. But the only thing is obviously Minakami Yuki doesn't actually exist, so that makes sense. Torn to pieces as in traumatized, maybe? Whatever this is, it caused Takuji's mind and heart to be completely broken. But my thoughts were suddenly interrupted. Ah, yeah, my god, and now we're gonna see Takuji's Tomosane's reaction to this uncharacteristic and ridiculous change in Takuji. Yuki Tomosane-kun. Yeah, there we go. Mamiya Takuji turned around. Yeah, and I just find it funny that Tomosane was always thinking that Takuji was growing stronger, which was obviously really quite contradictory because there was a period in which his mind was totally becoming dormant, but then he just suddenly came back when Zakuro suicided. Mamiya Takuji turned around. A revolting person. Oh yeah, my god, look at his eyes. Yeah, I think you can see why. Yeah, totally reasonable. I felt a new, sickening revulsion when I saw him. Worse than ever before. What's with him? There's something different about him. Did something happen? Confidence? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how did he change so much in a single day? That is the power of the human mind and delusions. It's so weird, but at the same time, it somehow is true. Oh god, look at him. What's wrong? God, and look at... He's scared as well. Look at how the tables have turned. Oh, huh? Mamiya-kun, what's up? Yeah, because obviously these people think he's just talking to himself. A nuisance came into the room. But I ignore them. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, they don't deserve to be talked to. Mamiya. Mamiya-kun? Mamiya-kun? I just wonder how much these guys on the right can hear. Hey, you dumb piece of shit. What's up with that goofy grin? It really does look goofy, though. I love that. Yeah, I don't think you are grinning. You look like you are absolutely deranged. Thank you very much. Okay, teacher. You're talking back to me. Oh, I'm impressed. I'll apologize if I offended you. Sorry. Giving the money back, maybe? Apologize? What the fuck are you talking about? Didn't I tell you to get a better way of apologizing to me, you little shit? Dude, look at his face. Fucking hell. These people really know what they're doing when making the sprites. God. Higurashi spoilers, but it really reminds me in Meakashi where Shion's face in the anime it just completely distorts and it loses all logical human form. It just makes her look as much of a monster as possible. And it kind of reminds me with... Takuji's face kind of reminds me of that in a way. The atmosphere was completely different. The atmosphere was clearly different. Yeah, his attitude wasn't obedient at all. He can actually look people in the face, and he can also confidently speak as well. I mean, if that's not different, I don't know what is. It was just the opposite. Yeah, fair. I know this Mamiya Takuji, what? I've met this Mamiya Takuji before, somewhere, what? In the distant past? I mean, I'd assume 7 years ago before, or maybe after. Yeah, before or after? I mean, I'd assume after, but I don't know. When the accident happened. And at that time, too, I was afraid of Takuji.
慰謝料だ。この前足りなかった分も含めて20万円持ってこい。
Show me you're sorry with money. Bring me 200,000 yen, because that's definitely realistic, isn't it? Yeah, sure thing. Bring me 200,000 yen. That includes what you were short last time. God. 27,000 yen. I felt like I was bluffing. I felt like a perfect... Yeah, you are! I mean, my god, you're just trying to use such false and empty threats. But still, I believe that I would get the same result as if nothing had changed in the relationship between myself and Mamiya. Yeah, no. And that's why you were a fool, because you believe that. He'll just cry because he can't do anything. Nah. No, that's only what I wanted to believe.
慰謝料ね。それでいつまでだい
Money, huh? So when do you want it by?
なんだよ、今回は期限はいらないのか
Well, you don't care about the deadline?
そうだね。別にあってもなくてもといった感じかな。
Not really. Either way, I don't really care, I guess.
何それ金の当てでもあんのか
Would you have a way of getting the money?
まあそうかもね。それでさ、なんで20万円なの
Maybe I do. Oh, yeah. So why do you want 200,000 yen?
なんだと
What did you say?
どうせなら、そこにいる沼田くんと西村くんと君に20万円ずつがいいんじゃないのかい
While I'm at it, why don't I give 200,000 yen to Numata and Nishimura too?
何
What?
マジで金くれるんすか
Oh, seriously, you're gonna give us money?
宝くじでも当たったんすか
Did you win the lottery? Yeah, seriously. I mean, you would have thought that, but at the same time, I mean, why are you listening to a conversation somebody is quite literally having with themselves?
そうかもしれない。
Maybe I did.
本当マジでいいんすかやっと今までのお薬代払ってくれる気になったんですね
Really, seriously, you don't mind? You finally feel like paying your debts for all those drugs you stole from us, huh? Oh my god, that's hilarious. So how much is 200,000 quid? Sorry, quid? I meant yen. Right, here we go. Let's see. Oh my god, that's £1,046 and 80 pence. That's insane. God, so that... But to be fair, I mean, drugs are so expensive that 1,000 quid probably wouldn't get you with many drugs anyway, but still. I mean... It's still a lot of money, I won't deny that. You could spend 1,000 quid on anything else. I don't really think drugs are the best thing to spend them on. I.e., they are the worst thing to spend them on. Actually, to be fair, I don't know what's worse. Spending money on scams or drugs. Or, I don't know. What are some other really bad ways of spending money? Microtransactions in video games? Kind of. To a certain extent, I suppose. Oh, viruses as well, obviously. But those kind of go in hand. Scams, viruses, ransomware, stuff like that. It's just kind of trying to group it under the same term by saying scam.
もう100万円にはなっているって言ってたもんね
Yeah, you see what I mean when I say that 1,000 quid can't get you very far in the drug world. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that must have been worth over 1 million yen, you know, so over 5,000 quid. Shut up. Huh.
今のはなしだ
Forget about it.
え でも今確かに薬代が100万円ぐらいしているのは本当だから、できたら。
But you just I wasn't kidding about those costing like 1,000,000 yen. If you want, you really if you can, you really should pay us back.
払うなんて誰もそんなことは言ってない。
Good. No one said I was gonna pay you fuckers.
でも宝くじ当たったんだよ
I
ね。
just find it funny to think about the fact that Takuji is just staring. He's not doing anything whatsoever. Yeah, but you just won the lottery, didn't you? And you
だ
believed
とし
it.
てもてめえら消えろ。
Anyway, you bastards need to disappear.
何度も言わない。消えろ。
Don't maybe say it again. Disappear. Oh my god, isn't it funny seeing somebody like this scared? Wow. God, they both ran off in fear when I yelled at them. He didn't really yell. He said very sternly and he warned them to get away, but he didn't necessarily yell. Well, from their perspective, I offered to give them a ton of money and then suddenly got pissed at them. Exactly, though, and I find it really quite funny to think about the fact that Takuji, what he's doing is... I mean, I don't necessarily think he knows that Tomosane is an alternate personality of him. Actually, no. No, because I remember the knife scene. I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna stab you with a knife. But no, that knife... What was it? That knife is... Wait, no, what was it? No. He was saying even though Tomosane had possessed a knife, he had a knife. I swear it was something like, this knife is mine, or something like this. Let me just search it up. Yeah, okay, so it's just in capitals, I'm the one holding the knife! And I just find that really funny because it kind of gives me the impression that Takuji is never necessarily told to us, but I think Takuji does figure out the fact that Tomosane is another personality of himself. I don't know, I just kind of get that instinct because he realises the fact that even though it looks as if Tomosane is the one holding the knife, and obviously he is in a clear disposition, he is the one holding it himself. But the only thing that's really weird, when he kills Tomosane, he doesn't... Well, no, he does stab himself, but I think he gives himself a lighter wound, so that... Obviously, so that he doesn't die. I mean, I just kind of get the impression that everything after what happened with Kimika could not happen if Takuji had truly stabbed himself in a deadly manner. Maybe he stabbed himself a little bit, but he could actually put pressure on the wound and completely prevent blood flow. Blood flowing out of his body, bleeding to death. God, I find it hilarious how he looks. Impressive. Huh?
あれほど人を恐怖させ、屈服させる力を持つ結城くんは本当にすごいね。
Yeah, no, I see that, yeah. It really is impressive how you can make people submit to you out of fear. Yeah, that is the only reason these people are giving any respect to Tomosane. Fear. You little...
話がしたいんだろ？ここじゃない方がいい。
Do you want to talk? Should we go somewhere else?
なんだと。
What did you say?
牧場でも行こうか。
Let's go to the roof. God, genuine fear. That's hilarious. Let's go to the roof. Oh god, we're even hearing the heartbeat. For some reason, those words made my heart race. The rooftop. Mamiya Takuji on the rooftop. It reminds me of Yuki. Those two words seem to resonate with just the wrong frequency. Like they struck a dissonant chord in my heart. Yeah, but then again, I think it makes sense because obviously...
はい、間宮拓司君。僕はさ、今日はとても傷つきました。
I just find it hilarious to think about the fact that Tomosane is trying his hardest just to put on the front of the fact that he's a complete bully. And, well, in reality, he's just totally terrifying. It's just funny how pathetic he sounds, if I'm going to be honest. He sounds like a child here, for example. Yeah, but I find that really interesting because obviously Takuji on the rooftop, that would normally imply Minakami Yuki, and obviously the Takuji that she speaks through, and obviously the fact that Yuki can only be associated with happy memories. And for example, look at Hasaki, one who actually goes to school, goes to the rooftop and doesn't get put off. She's so close to Yuki that she feels she can just go to school and give her lunch and hang out with her for the entirety of break. Yeah, no Yuki. It feels wrong. It feels like something that should exist, i.e. Minakami Yuki should be here, but she isn't. And instead the most evil and awful person is here. What's going to happen to Tomosane after he's defeated, by the way? I really do wonder. I'm really excited to see. I just want to confirm what the definition of resonate was. Because obviously when you say something metaphorically resonates, it matches with you. Or at least that's how I use it. Yeah, to have a special meaning or importance to someone. Yeah, to vibrate and produce a deep, strong sound. What? Wait, let's see physics definition. Wait, what? Hang on a second. Wait, I'll just... This is a bit of an unusual definition, actually. This is not what I thought it was. So, this is basically just... It just sounds like a type of wave superposition. That's interesting. Wait, what's... Oh yeah, I've heard of this. Yeah. I'll actually look into that more, that's quite interesting. I'm sure we'll be learning about it soon though. Alright, Mamiya-kun. You know, Takuji, what you said today really hurt my feelings.
あんなに教育してきた君がいきなり反抗的な態度を取ったからです。
You were so well trained and now you've gotten rebellious.
ここは屋上です。
This is the rooftop.
しかも
And
たった今授業が始まりました。
I love that. And class just
こ
started.
こには誰もいません。
No one will come here.
誰も助けに来ません。
I just find it so funny to think about the fact that Tomosane is killing it with this dialogue here, but yeah, the same applies to you.
君が死んだとしても
Yeah, same applies to you.
誰も気がつきません。
Even if you die, no one will notice. Yeah, no, totally, yeah. I said it dramatically like that to give myself some confidence. My heart was pounding like it would never calm down. Takuji's eyes looked me up and down. Oh, yeah, reasonable. Yeah. As I looked into his eyes, I was taken in by the impression that I was gazing into portals to hell. Black pupils. Hell. Rooftop. Falling. Knife. Blood. It is Tomosane, yeah. Mysterious words suddenly flowed into my brain. Associations my mind had never made before. Connections between words. An unstable frequency. Oh shit. The racing beat of my heart.
間宮君、何か言いたいことあるかい？
Mamiya-kun, is there something you want to say to me?
どうせアニメでも見て勘違いしちゃったんだよね。そんで今だんだん冷静になって現状を理解し始めている。
You must have gotten the wrong idea after watching some dumb anime. Are you starting to understand the situation you're in right now? That's hilarious. Oh my god, a preemptive strike. I didn't put all my weight into the blow since I expected him to dodge it. Oh, yeah, my fist slammed into his nose, sending blood flying through the air.
その痛み思い出したか？
I find it really interesting that odd associations are being made. It's as if Takuji has always had... What I find really weird about this is as if Takuji has always had more than one personality, and maybe he had personality problems when all of the Saviour related things were happening 7 years ago as well. I don't know. It just feels like this is not the first time something like this has happened. Hmm. Has that pain reminded you of
て
anything?
めえなんざ所詮なんだよ。所詮そんなもんなんだよ。
God, I just find it really quite funny to think about the fact that not only is Tomosane saying this in order to have some sort of peace of mind, but he's also saying it in order just to really emphasize how much he hates Takuji and how much he hates that as a result of this man existing, he is not able to live a stable life with Hasaki, and Hasaki's life is made so much worse as well. His life is only threatened because of this guy existing. But then again, in contradiction, this guy is also the only reason he is created. And he does exist.
お前は一生誰か強い者にいじめられ続けて生きていくんだ。
You will live your life being bullied by people who are stronger than you.
お前に逃げ場はない。
There's nowhere for you to run.
逃げ場は死ぬこと。そして
I like that. The only place you can run to is the
ほ
grave.
ら、泣けよ。
Go on, cry.
いつもみたいに。
Just like you always... Oh, his life would be so easy if that happened.
泣けよ。
Cry. Oh, he's gonna laugh, isn't he? Oh my god.
痛いな。
It hurts.
タクジ。
Takuji.
痛いな。また鼻血が出ちゃったよ。
It hurts. You gave me another nosebleed.
君に昔鼻の骨を折られて以来鼻血が出やすくなってるんだよ。
Ever since you broke my nose, I've started getting nosebleeds all the time. Interesting. So I think that he's probably hit himself so hard here that he's actually been able to break his nose. Jesus Christ.
君も白山のようになりたいのかい？
No! Do you want to end up like Shiroyama?
殴った分だけむごたらしい死を用意してあげるから。
Jesus, I'll make your death gruesome enough to repay you for every punch. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
何を言い出すかと思えば。
I wonder what you were going to say.
なんだマミヤ。てめえのその強気さは、どっかのオカルト雑誌で読んだ呪いの方法が白山に的中したからか？
What are you on about? Did you cast some curse? You read about it in some occult magazine on Shiroyama.
なんだそりゃ。お前本当にバカだな。
What's with that crap? You really are stupid, huh?
俺がそんなことでいちいちビビるとでも思ってるのか？
You really think I'm scared of that shit?
呪い？
A curse?
あれは呪いではないよ。あれは必然。
I mean, then again, I can kind of see what Takuji means to a certain extent. I mean, this idiot was smoking LSD on the rooftop. Of course something like that was going to happen. And I mean, this person was a total drug addict as well. Of course it was inevitable. Actually, that doesn't necessarily mean it was inevitable at all. I mean, it had a more likely chance of happening, but it didn't mean it was definitively going to happen. It wasn't a curse, it was inevitable.
はあ？なんだそりゃ。
Huh? What are you talking about?
彼が死に、高島さんが死に、そして
Yeah,
君が
completely
僕を
unconnected,
痛
man.
めつける。
They are totally unconnected deaths. He died, Takashima-san died, and now you're tormenting
そ
me.
れは全て母によって
Yeah,
プロ
what's
グ
he
ラム
going
さ
to
れた
think
ことな
about
んだよ。
this? It was all set up by my mother. Oh, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, interesting that we're seeing Sanami rather than Mamiya. What was that? His mother's name? Oh, yeah. What? I thought Sanami was her maiden. I think Sanami was her maiden name. Wait, no, hang on a second. So if it's a maiden name, then that means that's the name she had before getting married. So she was in the Sanami family before maybe moving into the Mamiya family. But then again, I mean, it was told that Takuji could have potentially been an illegitimate child anyway. So what was going on there? Did she truly have a relationship? Why are these people Mamiyas rather than Sanamis? My mind is confused. Yeah, no, you have to. Yeah, calm down. Just focus on the person in front of you.
はあ？何？ お前何言ってるんだ？
Huh? What the hell are you going on about now? Same for him. It's a two-way hatred. It's so ugly, it really is. There can never be peace between these two. It's true, something in Mamiya Takuji had changed, but I still would never forgive him.
ママが？お前のママが白山を殺して高島を殺してで、俺に頼んでお前をいじめてるとか言いたいのか？
When he says about everything... What we are going to see now is really, really going to change everything, I think. Your mummy killed Shiroyama and Takashima, and you think she asked me to bully you?
君に何を言っ
Yeah,
た
no,
の
no,
かわから
I
ない
don't
だろう。
disagree. Yeah.
でもね、これだけは言えるんだよ。
You wouldn't understand even if I were to explain it, but I shall tell you this much.
何？
What?
君の役目は終わった。
Jesus Christ. Could you imagine being in Tomosane's shoes and hearing this? Your role
俺
has
の
ended.
役目が終わった？
My role has ended.
そうだよ。終わったんだ。
That's right, it's over.
どういうことだ、お前。
What do you mean?
僕の精神を鍛錬するために存在していた君は、その役目を今日でついえるんだよ。
That's interesting. Was this shown in It's My Own Invention originally? You existed only to discipline my mind. Today your role has ended.
は？何それ？
Huh? What are you talking about?
お前の精神？鍛錬？お前バカだろ！
Discipline your mind? You're such a dumbass.
どんだけ終わってるんだよ、お前の頭の中は！
Do you still have a brain left in that head of yours? Ah, yes, it's just hollow, no matter to be seen. Nah, he definitely has a brain. It's just not on the right tracks. Sometimes.
まあ、前からぶっ壊れてたとは思っていたが、
Yeah, fair enough.
そこまで狂っていたとはな。何を言い出すかと思えば。
I was wondering what you were going to say.
さてと、今日は今までにないぐらいやりますよ。
Oh my god, it was so funny thinking in It's My Own Invention. Just thinking about the fact that Takuji was in... He had gone into a situation where there was no return. My god. I never expected anything after... Anything apart from a lack of success to come from a situation like this. But what was I met with? Exact opposite of my expectations, obviously. Well then, today I'll have to beat you harder than ever before.
ボコボコにぶん殴った後に、
Oh my
鼓
god,
膜に
yeah, I
鉛筆
remember
突き刺し
this.
て殴ってやるよ。
After I've given you the
痛い
normal
なんてもん
beatdown,
じゃねえぜ。
time to stick pencils in your ear and punch them. It would be beyond painful.
もう今すぐ自殺したくなるぐらい、お前を痛めつけてやるよ。
I'm gonna hurt you so bad you'll wish you could kill yourself.
さてと、
Or is it gonna be the other way around? Here goes. Ah, there we go. I love that we hear Takuji's theme here. Yes, what I find really interesting, what Takuji is saying here, you only existed to discipline my mind. Now, what's really weird, this is another example of Subarashiki Hibi, characters being deluded. And yet at the same time, if you ask me, hitting the right marks, even though their basis for the claim is completely absurd. So obviously he thinks that Tomosane is a person who was just set up by Kotomi in order to test him and make him worthy of becoming the true Saviour. Defeat Tomosane, you have a potential of defeating the person who has disciplined your mind, rising up against the person that... Well, I don't know, the person who has Well, no. It's kind of as if, for example, you're in karate, you're being trained by someone, and then you become so powerful that you can quite literally overthrow your trainer. It's like, for example, I don't know, Tomosane overthrowing the master. So, yeah, that's how I'll think of that. But I suppose you could think of it like that. So Tomosane was somebody who was born off the self-hatred of Takuji, and obviously he was born of Takuji. He was born to fulfill Takuji's more violent desires, and also the desires where he had just completely wanted to reject his existence, and he hated himself as well. And I suppose if you think about it, I mean, he doesn't know that Yuki is the same person as him. He doesn't know that Tomosane is the same person as him. But the only thing is, I mean, he technically was disciplining his mind, but then again, I mean, you could say the other way around as well. Takuji only existed to discipline Tomosane's mind, but also to create him as well. It's kind of a situation where there are both, applications are true, if you ask me, at least. That went well. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, and dude, it's still in my ear. Oh my god. I'm really cold today. I mean, I get that it's May, but Jesus Christ, it feels like winter. I'm not complaining, I fucking hate summer, but yeah, still, it just feels odd. The summer's the worst time of the year. I'm going to be like Takuji one day, but the only thing is I'm not going to be talking about my hatred of the media, I'm going to be talking about my hatred on summer. I swear, it's just really funny to think about the fact that every single personality Takuji has, I mean, it does make sense, but they all possess a strong hatred to the media. Oh yeah, and it's interesting. I wonder if you could link that to the accident that happened 7 years ago. Maybe there was some sort of news coverage of, what was it, the potential webbot project, or maybe something happened in order to ruin their lives. Maybe it was a cause to the trauma that had relations to the media. I mean, then again, I mean, the White Lotus Association, it does have political relations, so I do wonder if, because of that, there could be scandals that happened. And funnily enough, Kotomi lost her position at that time, so maybe there could be some sort of relevance there. I don't know, though. Anyway, yeah. What? I didn't let my guard down, I'm sure of that. Oh my god, that's interesting. I was even more focused than when I fought Yuki, and yet he had no trouble grabbing me when I struck at him. Then again, I mean, I think a battle like this, it is totally mental, and it's all... Well, when I say mental, I mean, obviously it is crazy. but at the same time it is all to do with the mind. So I really do wonder if here it's just a question of willpower. I mean, obviously they both have the highest amounts of will possible, but the only thing is Takuji's will is much more confident. Obviously Tomosane feels as if he wants to kill Takuji and he wants this to be the last time they ever fight, but at the same time, I mean, how is it going to be possible for him not to be fearful? Takuji, because he's so deluded and thinks he has found the answer to everything on this earth, he can't feel fear. He really can't, and that's why he's superior over Tomosane, if you ask me. Yeah, it's so weird. I was even more focused than when I fought Yuki, and yet he had no trouble grabbing me when I struck at him. He dropped me to the concrete before I could pull my arm back. Fucking hell. Jesus. God, that's nuts. If I didn't react, I would fall right on my head. So I sacrificed the joint he grabbed instead. God, that must hurt. That really must. What an indication of defeat. This just looks wrong. Oh, look. I prepared myself for the next blow. White hot pain ran through my arm, but the rest of my body was uninjured since I took the hit well. Yeah, my God, yeah, that must really, really hurt. Yeah. He did take it well, though. At least it's not his head that is injured. More importantly, this battle. I know, yeah. But the only thing is, obviously, every injury that happens to Tomosane will also simultaneously happen to Takuji. Or, yeah, that is the case as well, yeah. It's all happening in my mind. Unless Mamiya Takuji receives the same injury, I know it's not real. So if I endure the pain, my arm will heal in a few minutes. Yeah, fair enough. You! But I need to avoid any damage to my... Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, damage to my brain will shatter my consciousness, and that is a very fragile thing. If I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of impressed that it's still up and running, the consciousness. If I lose consciousness here, there's no guarantee I'll get another... Agreed, yeah. Yeah, fair. Yeah, because obviously beforehand... I suppose, yeah, that is another reason that Tomosane was made, because Takuji was so badly affected by the bullying that he would want to suicide. That's the only thing that would want to happen, or be destroyed in a horrible way. I mean, we saw how violent Takuji could potentially be, i.e. his talk about what he would do if he was the Prime Minister. And, yeah, it's just something that he now no longer desires, because obviously he's found a purpose with living. He never had a purpose before, but now he does, so obviously... Yeah, Yuki has... or Tomosane has to suffer. He wants to erase me so that he alone will remain. Yeah, totally.
すごいね、君。
You're rather impressive.
勝負は一瞬につくと思ったけど、君は本当に強いんだね。
I thought the battle would be over in an instant, but you really are strong.
なんだと?
What did you say?
だって、僕は世界で最も強い人間なんだ。
Dude, his fucking eyes. And also his facial expression to parallel those eyes looks so weird. I mean, I just find it hilarious to think about the fact that Takuji seems so deranged that maybe it's just a means of emphasizing how terrified Tomosane is. He's so terrified that his brain can't even put a form to Takuji. And he's also very weak as well. If that's the case. Can't even put an accurate form to Takuji's facial expression just because of how monstrous it looks.
なんだそりゃ。
What are you on about?
今の僕は歴史上存在したどんな達人よりも強い。
Right now I'm
そういうこ
stronger
とな
than
んだよ。
Right now I'm stronger than any person in human history. That's all.
どんな妄想だ。お前、本当に気が狂ったのか。
You're crazy. Did you really lose your marbles?
じゃ、僕から。
Now it's my turn. Oh fuck. Yeah, Tomosane is dead. Mamiya Takuji's attack. He seemed downright reckless. Overconfident? But this was good news. That was good news for me. Ooh, I turned my back to him and quickly spun my body around. Of course, I lost sight of the enemy for a moment, but I knew I couldn't defeat Mamiya Takuji without taking at least some risks. Ooh, did he get a hit there? Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, nice one. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah. I hit Mamiya with a clean back fist. Yeah, good for you.
バカが。少しぐらい古武術を使えるようになった程度で何を達人ぶって嫌がる。
I like that. Ridiculous. You act like you're a black belt just because you learned a few
10万
tricks.
年早いんだよ。
Sure thing. You're gonna need another million years of training to match me. This is... Oh, that's interesting. He got lucky with that one. If I had hit him in the right spot, I would have won right then and there. Interesting how close of a battle it is. Oh, I see. But I missed the jaw where I was aiming by about 10 centimeters and ended up striking him in the cheekbone. A little lower. If I had hit him in the jaw, the result might have been different. Mamiya Takuji could still fight. Yeah, totally, yeah. Oh, I was on the verge of despair as I spat these next words at him.
来いよ。お前がどの程度か教えてやるからよ。
Come on, I'll show you just how strong you really are. Oh shit, what's happening? Ooh, what's he going to do? I was right to be worried. Yeah, no, I see that. I should have erased him sooner. By the time I realised it was already too late. Yeah. I can't believe he could do that.
この僕がここまで。
Even after I was reborn. Reborn, yeah.
最初に腕の骨抜かれてなきゃてめえなんかにやられねえよ。
You haven't beaten me until you've broken every bone in my body. Oh, yeah, I like that he says that, yeah. Ooh, I was losing my grip on consciousness. I heard a crunching sound as he dislodged one of my... God, that must hurt. He must have kicked... Oh, I see. My head was spinning. But I held on to consciousness. Somehow. But there was still nothing I could do. So that wasn't it yet.
何が最強だ。妄想もいい加減にすることだな。そんな蹴りじゃ俺は殺せねえよ。
Like how you're the strongest. Knock it off with your delusions. You're going to need to kick me harder than that if you want to kill me. Interesting that he's totally asking for it.
覚えておけよ。
Mummy, I'll remember this.
ここで俺を殺さないと。
No, you won't.
俺は
That's the
お
worst
前を
thing.
確実に殺す。
If you don't kill me now, I'll end you next time.
俺と貴様が向き合うというのはそういうことなんだ。
That's what it means to fight me.
マミヤタクジ。
God, listen to him there. Yuki.
てめえの妄想ごっこは終わるんだよ。
I'm done playing along with your
妄
delusions.
想ごっこ。
My delusions? Interesting how despaired he sounds.
お前の妄想の
It will
世
though,
界。
totally, yeah. But your will as a result of that.
お前の世界そのものが終わるんだよ。
That's right, your delusional world. No, your world itself will end.
僕の
My world itself?
そうだ。
That's right.
なるほど。分かったぞ。
See, I understand now.
何がだ。
Understand what?
まだまだ僕の救世主としての修行は終わったわけではないというわけか。
My preparation to become the Saviour is still not complete.
なんだそりゃ。
Yep. You're still going on about that.
君がそれほど強いのはそういうことなんだね。
That's the reason you're so strong.
はあ。だからどういうことなんだ。
Oh, what the hell does that mean?
君はいつでも僕に戦いを挑んでくるといいだろう。
You can come challenge me anytime you like.
その度に僕は君を地に伏せさせるだろう。
Make you bow to me every time. Will you though, or are you just a little bit overconfident? Well, to be fair, he actually does, but still.
そしていつの日にか僕は君の体だけではなく心も地に伏せさせるであろう。
Eventually, I'll make you bow down in spirit too.
この僕の存在の前に
I'll make you bow down before my glory.
やっぱやろう。
Reasonable. You crazy bastard.
そう
It
やっ
is
て吠えてい
barking
れば
though,
いいさ。
yeah.
いつでもかかってくるといい。
Keep on barking. You can challenge me anytime you like.
君の存在は僕が真の救世主に至るための布石にしか過ぎない。
Your existence is nothing more than a challenge for me to overcome on my
あ
path.
るいは君との闘争こそが試金石となるのかもしれない。
My battle with you is just training.
そのため母親が君にそんな桁違いの力を与えたのであろう。
That's the reason my mother gave you such exceptional power.
お前の母親がこいつどこまで狂ってやがる。
Your mother? Just how crazy are you? Yeah, good point.
まあ今日はよく休ん
Oh,
だよ。
totally gloating.
さすがにその怪我じゃ再戦というわけにはいかないだろうからね。
Well, go rest for today. You can't challenge me to a rematch with those wounds. Yeah. Oh, is that... Is he running away? What are these sound effects? Are they footsteps? Yeah, I think they might be. Mamiya let out a wild laugh in celebration of his victory. I was just thankful that it wasn't night. Oh my god, yeah, that there wasn't a knife. Well, there wasn't a knife, and that Hasaki wasn't there as well. Yeah, reasonable. That's really unusual. I really do wonder if this, again, has some significance to 7 years ago. Somehow those thoughts floated up within me as I faded to black. What's happening now? Where is he? Oh. We're on July the 15th now. God, you know a day's going to be rough if it begins like that. But yeah, no, it is utter defeat, yeah. So it's interesting, all of that series of really random words, thoughts that he felt, no, not really thoughts, but indications, more sort of, if you like, buzzwords that you associate a word with a certain thought on a certain day in a certain incident. Oh my god, it's good that Hasaki wasn't there. Jesus Christ, that must have been... That would be so upsetting if she was. He faded to black as well. Yep, Tomosane is definitely seeing why he shouldn't have ever held back. But then again, I mean, I suppose what he was doing, he was more trying to aim for, rather than giving somebody a quick and painful death, giving them a slow death that was dragged over many months, completely dragging out the pain that he inflicted on him. There is nothing he can do, genuinely. Yeah, and isn't it funny to think about the fact that his overconfidence leads to Tomosane being able to survive? That's the only reason he can live here. Yeah, but no, I can kind of see this in a way, because obviously, if he is able to beat the other personalities, if he is able to beat the other personalities in fights, and if he is able to have the stronger spirit and the stronger strength, I suppose he is the one who will always be able to reign superiority on anybody else. So I suppose that is a quality of, sorry, that is a trait of a saviour, potentially. And obviously, saviours do have mental stability sometimes. Sometimes. So obviously, he needs to be the person who has the most stable and most victorious personality out of anybody in his head. But then again, he doesn't necessarily know that Tomosane is another personality. So I suppose, obviously, his viewpoints are going to be different to mine. I mean, he's saying he needs to beat everyone that's stronger than him, but obviously I kind of think of it with the personalities. So obviously, while my interpretation is not what he's thinking, it's just an interesting alternate way of thinking about it. But obviously Takuji can't think that because he doesn't know that Yuki is another personality. Sorry, I meant Tomosane even. Oh my god, I should stop calling him Yuki because it sounds like I'm referring to Minakami Yuki. Yeah, but I do find it really funny. He's saying that the reason that he's going to become the saviour, it's as if Tomosane is a test. If he beats Tomosane, if he beats his self-destructive desires and all of the desires he has in order to just end this world, destroy himself, completely end his life, he is going to be able to become the saviour. And I think it's just another coincidence where a delusional comment, as in he was a test, you overthrow him, you become the saviour. And obviously it was set up by the mother. I mean, I don't really know how you could explain that part, but then again, I think you could easily explain the other parts with what I just said. It's quite funny, that. Yeah, but no, I totally agree. And I honestly agree with this as well. Utter defeat. Once I understood that, the conclusion was simple. Yeah, no, I totally see that. My existence was no longer necessary. The personality created to erase Mamiya Takuji was instead defeated by him. Exactly, and I just find it so genius to think about the fact that this is such an interesting way of telling us just the extent of how Takuji has changed. And what I find really funny is it kind of reminds me of just any person's emotional changes, but from a more literal standpoint, because obviously, let's say for example somebody wants to become a good person and they've persisted being a bad person throughout the entirety of their life. It's as if that was a situation here, they would quite literally kill the personality that encourages them to be a bad person so that they can continue to become a good person. I just think that's hilarious to think about the fact that rather than mental changes, the changes are happening, sure, but they're physically emphasized by killing another personality. It's weird. Yeah, but I see that, yeah. The personality created to erase Mamiya Takuji was instead defeated by him. Yeah. More than anyone else on this planet, I was worthless and unnecessary. And yeah, that's the worst thing. I mean, at least people who are also considered worthless or unnecessary by some unfair means, at least they actually have forms. You don't, and I can totally see what he's saying. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. So now what? Are you just going to disappear? What the fuck? No, please tell me he remembers who this is. Who's that? You don't recognize me? Yuki? Oh, okay, good. Yeah. What? That's right, why the long face, partner? Long face? Does that mean you can see me? Of course I can. I thought I would never be able to see you again. Yeah, totally. Never again, huh? You said that before too. Before? Did I say that? Interesting that, like Yuki, Tomosane is forgetting memories. And I find it interesting that Yuki's personality is deteriorating as well, because Takuji, he doesn't want to go to his ideal self. He doesn't want to... Oh, here's a good way of thinking about it. So, in life, his purpose is not to become his ideal self, to become the best person he can be. No, his purpose is to become the Saviour. Yuki's purpose is redundant. It's unnecessary, so... As a result of that, she can just fuck off, I suppose. Because that's really how cruel Takuji's mind is to these other personalities. There is no mercy. But then again, I mean, these people, they were created by the creator, so they are subject to every single change the creator has. Yeah, quite a while back. Don't worry about it. That's so interesting. The warmth of her skin. The scent of her body. Oh right, I have a certain feeling to me, don't I? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting that she understands this as well. Then try lifting your consciousness to the surface. Let me guess, this is going to be an HC. Lifting my consciousness? Right now, Mamiya is sound asleep. It shouldn't be that hard at all. All that hard even. Yeah, so I'd assume that this is either midnight, just at the end of July the 14th, or maybe it's at the end of July the 15th, I don't know. Mamiya is sound asleep. I was buffeted by the wind. I've never felt such a cool wind at this time of year. Oh yeah, I can imagine. That must be really quite pleasant. Where are we? That's honestly really unusual. I never would have expected Takuji to be in a rural and scenic location. The trees rustled in the wind. A creek babbled in the distance. If only. Yeah, that would mean all of this wouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, you're not making it to autumn. It's a bit chilly. Is it autumn already? What do you mean? Yeah, fair. No, I just thought I was maybe out for a long time. Like a few months or so.
そんな長く失ってたらもう元には戻らないよ。
God, that's scary. Yeah, if you were gone for that long, you would never come back.
ならなんでこんな涼しいんだ。
Then why is it so chilly?
それになんか水の音。これって小川のせせらぎ。
And besides, is that water I hear? It sounds like there's a stream nearby.
目開けてみなよ。
Open your eyes.
ね。
Interesting that he's being reminded that he has eyes. Oh, my eyes weren't open. It's interesting, that disconnect from his brain. It really is. That's why it was so dark.
見えた？
Can you see?
目が開かない。
My eyes won't open.
あら、そうなんだ。でも大丈夫だよ。音を聞いたり、風を感じたりはできたんでしょ？
Oh, really? Well, don't worry about it. Can you hear the sounds? Can you feel the wind?
ああ、それは。
Interesting that you're
Duh.
never permitted to see what's genuinely here. This could all be a lie. Who knows? Yeah, I can, but I've forgotten how to open my eyes. I couldn't pry them open.
Hehe. 人って呼吸の仕方を忘れることあるらしいね。寝てる時とかさ。でも落ち着きなよ。
Apparently, some people forget how to breathe, you know? Like when they're sleeping and stuff. But don't worry, you just need to calm down. Yeah, I really would hope something like that would not happen to Tomosane.
落ち着いて目を開いてごらん。見えるからさ。
Calm yourself and open your eyes. You can still see, I promise.
落ち着いて。
Calm.
なんだこれ。
That was not what I was expecting. Oh my god, it's really interesting. This is exactly a remake of the scene with Tomosane and Kagami. That's weird.
おんぶだよ。
I'm carrying you. This was not what I was expecting whatsoever.
見りゃわかるわ。なんで俺はおんぶされてる。
I can see that, but why are you carrying me? Yeah, that's interesting. But then again, I mean, I do wonder if maybe it could be the case that Yuki is going to be the person to encourage Tomosane to undergo training so that he has a chance, just a mere possibility, of being able to beat Takuji. Like Yuki was saying, having a ridiculous amount of courage, pissing blood, I remember him saying, just physically exerting yourself so much that you have a chance of beating Takuji. This is unusual. I really wasn't expecting this. God, I just find it interesting that he's forgotten how to open his eyes, and I think that just properly shows how weak he is. Yeah, God, that's so sad. He's totally losing memories. Isn't it interesting to think about the fact that the analogy says that his consciousness is as if it's in the depths of the mind? It's in the depths of the mind, so... I mean, the depths, obviously, I always associate the depths with events that have happened in the past and events that you could either dwell on, or you could look above, and you can look beyond, and you can look at the future and try to change it rather than being stuck in the past, really. But the only thing is, I mean, I just wonder if his consciousness is stuck in the depths, so it can never look at the present, because the depths only cover the past and the traumatic experience that shaped all of Takuji's present, well, all of Takuji's future, really. So if it's stuck there, it can never go to the present. I don't know, I just find it really unusual that that's emphasized. I find it interesting to think about the fact that he has been so fixated on all of his thoughts that nothing else has been... I mean, I just don't really understand why... With most people, normally, they would instinctively think about how the smell is really unusual, the smell is very pleasant. I mean, obviously, he does think about the smell of Yuki, which I suppose is quite funny when you think about it. I mean, that is the first thing that takes priority rather than smelling of his entire surroundings. But then again, I suppose Yuki is his entire surroundings in this case. But yeah, it's just funny that smells like this and sensory descriptions like this are not things that we have seen at the first part. And it's as if, like with looking, he actually has to train his brain just to be able to feel things that others would so normally be able to feel. It's weird. Well, not really training himself, but it's as if it's not natural and he needs to lift his consciousness in order for it to happen. He needs to make an effort to be able to experience what others would be able to experience so easily. But then again, I mean, maybe this could just be positioning of the text. Maybe it doesn't really have much relevance. And if it doesn't, I am... Oh my god, that's just embarrassing. I've just taken so much meaning in something that wasn't really meant to be contemplated in the first place. But then again, I mean, VNs can be up to interpretation to a certain extent. That's the excuse I'll use. I do find it interesting that this theme, Natsu no Daisankaku, a lot of the times it's used for escapism related purposes. And as if, well, I mean, it was first used when Zakuro's soul was exiting, and it was as if she was having the proper farewell she deserved, rather than obviously everything that happened in Looking Glass Insects. True ending, at least. Not the alternative ending, because that was an example of another farewell that she deserved to the story. Yeah, look at that. Just the increasing rate of, I don't know, Tomosane becoming a discontinuous existence. just trying to imagine this. I've got such a beautiful picture in my mind. It feels like the most happy and serene and just in general beautiful situation, just masked with immense amount of instability and tragedy. Moreover, Yuki is wearing a martial arts uniform.
だってボロボロにやられたんでしょ。
Yeah. You got the crap beaten out of you, remember?
だとしても実際に肉体には傷ついてないはずだろ。じゃなきゃ間宮拓司の体にも傷ができる。
That doesn't mean my body was actually injured. If it was, Mamiya Takuji would have been injured too.
だから
So
だからじゃないだろう。大丈夫だから下ろせ。
I'm fine. Now let me down. Then again, I mean, physical implications don't necessarily matter. It just matters about the mental side, if you ask me.
そう体動かないんじゃないの。
Yeah, really? I thought you couldn't move at all. Huh? When I tried to get down, I could hardly move my body at all.
なんだこれ。
What's going on?
だからさボロボロにやられたからだよ。
I told you, he beat the crap out of you.
でもそれは脳内の。
It was, yeah, but that was just in my head.
何言ってるの。それ言ったらその怪我だけじゃなくてあんただって私だって脳内だけの存在じゃないの。
What are you talking about? Those wounds aren't the only thing in your head. You and I only exist in your head too, you know?
そういう問題じゃなくて。
No, but I can kind of see that though. So the wounds he perceives are only in his head. Those wounds don't objectively exist, but it's as if his... No, it's really weird because his body is objectively fine, but the only thing is, it's as if he still has perceived the wounds. And obviously because Yuki's in Tomosane's head, she has the effect of the wounds. That's really unusual. What I find really interesting is to think about how a scene like this is possible. I kind of get the impression that something like this, it could just be in the imagination of Tomosane as well. I mean, how could he be carried by someone who isn't existing?
脳内だけの怪我なんてないんだよ。痛みは痛み。架空の痛みなんてない。
Yeah, fair. There's no such thing as a fake wound. Pain is still pain. There's no faking that. Yeah. There's no such thing as a fake wound. Pain is still pain. There's no faking that.
たまにいるらしいけどね。お医者さんとかであなたがその場所が痛いなんてあるわけないんですとか言う人。バカだね。
Yeah, fair enough. Well, like I said, it does happen sometimes. Like, if you go to the doctor, maybe he tells you there's no way that part of your body actually hurts, but then, yeah, reasonable, because obviously if a conclusion like that is made, they're probably not listening to you fully. I probably just called the doctor stupid.
痛みに幻覚なんてないよ。痛みは痛みだ。あんたが受けたものは幻覚でも何でもないんだよ。
Yeah, but that's actually really interesting to think about what she's saying. There's no such thing as illusory pain. If it hurts, it's pain. Those wounds you received weren't fake either. So what that's trying to say is, even though it doesn't, these wounds don't physically show, obviously they will leave mental scars, so there is no such thing as pain that doesn't exist.
だからそういうややこしい話じゃなくて。
Yeah, reasonable. Don't get philosophical on me now.
マジレスするとね、あんたを無理やり意識上に引き上げた。だからあんたはうまく体が動かせない。
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, I just forcibly pulled you up from your unconscious state. That's why you can't move right now.
なんだそれ。意識を無理やり
Yeah,
そんなことで
it
きる
is
のか。
surprising. What do you mean? You can forcibly bring my consciousness to the forefront?
まあ、それ相応のリスクもあるけどね。
Well, there are a few risks involved.
リスク
Risks?
まあいいじゃん。ほら、着いたよ。
Interesting. I do wonder what those risks are. Funny that she brushes over them. Oh, don't worry about it. We're here.
着いた
Here?
なんだここ。
This is not what I was expecting. This seems unusually mysterious.
道場裏じゃない。よく練習したでしょ。
Oh, that's interesting. The dojo. Oh my fucking god. The dojo. Specifically the back door. I really just said Jojo by accident. Jesus Christ. That was a total slip of the tongue as well. That's the worst thing. The dojo. Specifically the back door. We used to train here, remember?
いや
Isn't
知ら
that
ない
interesting?
というかここどこなんだ。
God, another thing he's forgotten. Fucking hell. Besides, no, I don't. Besides, where is this, really?
マミヤの道場だよ。懐かしいでしょ。
The Mamiya Dojo. Isn't it
マ
nostalgic?
ミヤの道場。それって父方の田舎沢井村にあるあの
That's
古武道の道場か。
Mamiya's dojo. You mean our father's martial arts dojo out in the countryside?
うん、それだよ。
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, that's interesting.
懐かしいとかいう問題よりなんでそんな場所に。だってここって確か
Sure, it's nostalgic or whatever, but more importantly, yeah, good question. Yeah, why are we here? I mean, shouldn't it take like
東京から何時間かかるんだって感じ？
hours and hours to get here from Tokyo? Yeah, but then again, I mean, there is no time limit within your head. And I find it really funny to think about the fact that this is the images in which... Well, no, the memories in which subconsciously are being projected to Tomosane. He is completely asleep and he's subconscious and he doesn't actually exist within this time period. And yes, at the same time, this is what his brain is reminding him to do. It's just as if he's totally been defeated. So his instinct, and if anything, the instinct for survival is training, and more training. And I just find it funny that none of this scene is happening. Yuki doesn't actually exist here. But the thing is, this is what... No, I think this is the brain taking the form of Yuki so that Tomosane will be listened to. Sorry, the Yuki will be listened to and then Tomosane will change as a result. Hours and hours to get here from Tokyo?
ああ気軽に来れる場所じゃないだろう。なんでいきなり。
Yeah, it's not the kind of place you can just come to on a whim. Why are we here all of a sudden?
そうだね。さて、なんででしょうか。
I know what you mean. Why do you think?
俺の意識がない間に今度はどれぐらいの時間を。
We travelled here while I was unconscious. How long was I out this time?
どのくらいだと思う？
How long do you think?
いやよくわからないがそんな長い時間のような感じはしなかったな。
I'm not really sure, but it doesn't feel like it was that long.
うん、 う。それってどのくらい？
Oh, really? How long do you think then?
一晩というには長すぎる。でも丸一日、時間的にはそんな感じがする。
A night, or maybe a little longer. I'd say about a whole day. That's about how long it feels like.
にもかかわらず、自分を取り巻く状況が一変しているので驚いている。
And yet you're shocked to find that you have been transported to a faraway place.
あ、そうだ。どういうことだ？
Yeah. If you ask me, there's a little bit of an irregularity. It obviously indicates that they have never travelled here. Or at least that's what I think. Yeah, that about sums it up. So what's going on?
さて、どういうことでしょうか？
Gosh, she's saying nothing. I find that really interesting. I don't know, what do you think is going on?
それよりさ、体どう？ちゃんと動く？
Alright, how's your body feel? Can you move yet? What I find really interesting about what Yuki is doing here is she's pointing Tomosane in the right direction. But then again, oh, she's being the harmonizer. She is making it so that the destroyer can have harmony, it can have significance, and it won't just be dead and have no reason to exist just because of a lack of ability to exist. She's trying to harmonize the existence of Yuki. Sorry, Tomosane even. Alright, how does your body feel? Can you move yet?
体。お、そういえば。
My body. Oh, you're right. Oh, that's interesting. Before I could hardly move my body at all. But now I could move it normally. Yeah, again, another really irregular thing. It was like I had forgotten how to move my limbs. Or maybe like my entire body was weighted down with lead. Jesus Christ, that kind of feeling. That feeling was like...
まるで？何？まるで何みたいなの？
Like what? What's it like? That's right, this particular feeling of unreality.
1日か2日。細かいことはよくわからないが、その程度の時間でこんな場所に立っている可能性よりも、むしろ。
In just a day or two. I don't know exactly how much time has passed, but it doesn't seem like I could actually be standing here, so maybe...
夢。ここは夢の中か。
A dream. Is this a dream?
正解。冴えてるね。
Bingo. You're smarter than you look.
確かに。この独特の身体感覚のおかしさは夢のそれだ。
God, what a weird dream. The one where somebody in the dream actually tells you that it's a dream and it's not a distortion of reality. This weird feeling in my body is just like a dream, but...
何？何かおかしい？
Huh? Is something wrong? What's different? I can't quite put my finger on it.
夢にしては意識がはっきりしすぎてる。まるで目覚めているような。いや、それ以前に
Yeah,
夢の
that
中
is
では
weird.
はっきりと夢であるとここまで意識したことなんかない。
That too, yeah. It's like my consciousness is too clear for this to be a dream. It's like I'm really awake. Totally reasonable, yeah. And besides, I've never been aware that I was dreaming while the dream was still going on before. Yeah.
そうだね。夢ってもう少し不条理だよね。自分の思考も見える風景も。まあ、ここで私がすっぱだかだったりしたら、それっぽいかな。
I know what you mean. Dreams should be a bit silly, right? Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, they shouldn't really equate to reality much at all. But there's a real question about whether this is a reality or a dream. Your thoughts and everything you would see... sorry, I know what you mean. Dreams should be a bit silly, right? Your thoughts and everything you see would be a bit off kilter. Yeah. Well, would you believe it was a dream if I was naked right now? I wouldn't want. I mean, if I was in that situation, I would. God. Well, it really depends.
いや、その程度なら。
You're welcome to try it.
んなわけないだろ。
As
何言ってる。他人に見えないからってスカートめくってたやつが。
Is he? Does he remember the little incest he had with himself? What's your deal? You're the one who was doing that a few days ago.
パンツとスポンポンは全然違うわ。パンツなんて単なる布じゃん。
Yeah, tell that to the legal services.
そんなことはどうでもいい。それより、ここはもしかして。
Who cares about that? Anyway, are we in a
明晰夢か。
lucid dream?
お、ご名答。よく知ってるね。
That's interesting. Oh, good job. I knew you would figure it out.
いや、詳しくは知らない。
Yeah, I don't
た
know
だ
either.
聞いたことがある程度だ。
No, I really don't know much about them. I've just heard other people talk about them.
そうなんだ。説明は？
Do you want me to explain?
参考程度に聞いておこうか。
For future references, I suppose.
そうだね。どういうことで起き
Agreed.
てい
Yeah,
るか
yeah,
知って
yeah.
おくのは重要かもね。あんたがやる気ならば。
Sure, it's important that you know what's really going on. At least if you feel up to it.
やる気？
Up to what?
まあいいや。明晰夢はね、簡単に言えばコントロール可能な夢、意識された夢。
Oh, don't worry about it. Anyway, lucid dreams are, well, to put it simply, it's a dream that you can control, and one you're completely aware of.
脳みその前頭葉と海馬。まあ思考とか意識とか長期記憶を司る場所やね。
The frontal lobe and hippocampus in your brain. Just think of them as the parts that control thought, consciousness, and long-term memory.
起きていた時に見たり聞いた情報を整理する
What
前
about
段
the
階。
cerebrum, though?
まあつまるところ、夢見てる時に前頭葉を半覚醒状態にさせ、海馬と連携させることによって夢をある程度コントロール可能にさせる状態のこと。
When you're awake, those parts process the information you see and hear. And when you're dreaming, you can partially wake up your frontal lobe and then it can control your dreams in cooperation with your hippocampus. Oh my god, that's
前
actually
頭
really
葉を
cool.
半覚醒。まあ理屈ではわかるが、そんなことができるのか。
Partially wake up my frontal lobe. I think I understand the idea, but is that really possible?
訓練によってある程度ならできるようになるという感じ？
I guess it's possible if you practice enough.
訓練ということは、これは訓練によって作られた世界なのか。
Practice? Does that mean this is a world created through practice?
まあそうやね。
I guess so.
偶然の産物ということではないということか。
Coincidental fruits of our labor, I guess.
まあコツも必要だよね。例えば夢見てる時に前頭葉が半覚醒状態になると大体みんな混乱しちゃうからね。
Well, there's a trick to it. Most people get really confused when their frontal lobe wakes up during a dream.
なるほど、混乱か。わかるような気もする。半覚醒といえば金縛りを想像するぐらいだからな。
Confusion, huh? I think I understand. When you say you partially wake up, it makes me think of sleep paralysis.
うん。夢を意識すると半覚醒状態で自分の体が動かないような錯覚に陥るんだよね。
Yeah, when people become aware of their dreams, they usually feel like they're trapped and can't move their bodies.
いつもの身体感覚と夢の身体感覚の差。その違和感がさらに加速して海馬の記憶が勝手に自分が寝ている状況を作り出しちゃう。
The difference between their real body and their dream body. That incongruence makes your hippocampus remember that you're sleeping.
目が覚めてないにもかかわらず、作り上げられた状況が勝手に覚醒状況を現視させる。
Yeah. So even though you're not awake, your brain creates a situation where you believe you're awake.
そうすると心拍数とか上がって息苦しくなって、まあ最終的には目が覚めちゃうわけよ。
Then your heart rate rises, your breathing speeds up, and finally you wake up.
さっきまで俺を襲っていた体が動かないような感触は半覚醒状態独特のもの。
So that feeling from before, where I couldn't move my body, was because I was in a state of half consciousness.
うん、夢の中なのに現実の体を動かそうとしちゃうんだよね。
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because even in the dream you were still trying to move your real body.
だが俺は目を覚まさなかった。それはお前の能力のためか。
But I didn't wake up. Was that because of your power?
さあどうだろうね。
Who knows?
俺は夢を自由に操ることなんてできない。お前の能力以外では考えられない。訓練したと言ってたじゃないか。
I can't freely control my dreams. I can't imagine it wasn't your power. Didn't you say it was you who practiced it? Right, okay, so I'm going to stop reading here, or at least I'm going to just begin all of this scene tomorrow, because if I'm going to be honest, I'm probably around half an hour later than the last point I was in the video. I've read a lot of this scene, I've just read it really quite quickly, and yeah, there's so much to unpack in this scene, so I just want to kind of leave it for a fresh day so that we can go into it with a new mindset and just in general in a new viewpoint as well, so that I'm not very tired. Oh, this scene looks brilliant though. I'm going to be very interested to learn about everything that's going on here. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, overall I think today was really interesting, and my god, seeing everything that was going on with Tomosane and Takuji, and just seeing Tomosane's defeat, that was really quite nice, and just the really mysterious nature of everything that is going on about Tomosane's past as well, and the flashbacks, and how it all will probably connect in the end. It was really quite nice to see. So yeah, see you guys. I hope you enjoyed.